Hello, it's your friend Dr. Yazama Damas. Today I'm in the garden planting, and I'm trimming this stuff, this cassava tubers. I'm trimming them to plant. What I'm doing, I am securing my future. I'm making a food bank in case money takes long, in case I'm cheated, in case business goes down. Or what if we go back in lockdown? I'll still have what to eat. And that's where the problem came from. Why people were in lockdown and were shouting, crying, because they didn't have what to eat. But during lockdown, I learned that it's good to plan. I had food here. I had potatoes, I had cassava, I had beans, I had sugarcane. I had what to eat. Because I learned the things long time in life that you have to plan in life. Things should not take you by surprise. And after lockdown, something shocked my heart when I had Melinda leaving Bill Gates. So marriage is very hard to understand. Let no one lie you. Even your mentor is just lying you about marriage. Marriage is very hard to know, because the more you grow, actually I've realized the more you grow in life, the more you learn it. When you are young, you don't know it. And even that person telling you about life, when he's younger than you, or he's very young, he's below 60, he doesn't know it. They'll just tell you suggestions. I've heard of pastors separating with their wives or divorcing many times. Yet there are people you used to look up to. There's a gentleman I was looking up to, and it happened to him also. I just hear it happened to him. Thank God things came back to normal. But a lot are dying, are crying in marriage. And I've discovered men are hurting, men are tortured. Today you have that respect in your house because of what you can provide. And then you keep on swagging, thinking that you know. You even say, Damas is evil, is Antichrist. Hey, you can say it, but wait. When you can't provide what you're providing today, you will know that we know better than you. You think you have money more than Bill Gates? If Bill Gates passed through that, who are you? Bill Gates has money, my friend. Has money more than the people you think are rich. But his marriage ended like that. So you should learn to plant. When I was sick, accident, I've ever told you, my wife left me. My wife left, and I was taking care of myself. But before that, when I was in Ginger, when my parents were taking care of me and my sisters, and no one showed up. Even the people I mentored, they didn't show up. Even my best man didn't show up. Even my wife, even my children didn't show up. So you should learn that anyone can leave you. I've ever made that video that your wife can leave you, your lover can leave you, your husband can leave you. So you should learn to prepare. But this one is for men only. This video is dedicated to men. And if you're not 60 plus, please don't comment on it. Don't even talk to yourself about what I'm saying. I've learned not to put my words when married people are separating, or when people, many of those ones who are old, even if they're young, I don't. But even those ones that are old, 60 plus, I don't, because you don't know what they're passing through. And if you hear a man dying when he's 70, 60, God has just helped them to take them away, to save them from the dangers or the disgrace that they are going to face. I talk to men who are in 70s, 60s. Man, they suffer. They suffer. When they can no longer provide, you are even reminded of every bad thing you've ever done to anyone in your house. Your children will remind you, your wife will remind you. Yet other things, most of the things you did them to protect your family. You did them, you used to cane your kids to protect them, to groom them. But they will remind you of every nonsense you've ever done. So be careful. That's why I set my wife off. I've told you about the things we've passed through. And I've learned. I started setting her off. She has left me several times. Not that very time that I've said. There were times she took care. But she used to do these things a long time. And I learned them. So I always set her off. I've always tried to groom her to be independent. And I thank God right now she's independent. Because I was imagining, what if she leaves me? Won't I eat? Won't I sleep? Won't I wash my clothes? During the time she left, she took a full year. I was eating, I was drinking. So those things, they were signals to alert me what may happen in the future. So I started being independent. Can you imagine that time when I was healing from the accident? A lot of news were around the world, around Uganda actually. DNA was DNA. And then I started, I imagine what if it was me, because many are killing themselves. I imagine, what if I wake up and they tell me these twins are not yours? All the 4 kids are not yours. What happens? I treated myself as if it had happened to me. I discovered there was no pain. That's how solid I've come. I guard my heart. The Bible says, jealously guard your heart. From it brings the issues of life. So I learned to guard my heart. I imagined it was happening to me, and nothing wrong happened to me. I said, okay. So up to today, unless DNA has been done, but there's nothing that proves that they're my children. I can live without them. Actually, at that time, I decided to take them to their grandparents so that they can be alone, free, and they see what happens. So up to today, unless proven by DNA, but anything can happen. In Uganda here or in Uganda, there's a saying about you'll never know your father when your mother is still alive. So your mother can tell you, even at my age, someone, I was watching news still on internet here, someone was 40 and he was told that that's not your father. But why? Why didn't they do it when they're still young? They waited to drain this man. And now because that man had grown to the age that he's independent, he can run. So the mother says this boy can take care of her, and also the boy can take care of himself. So they decided to announce the news to this old man that, this is not your son, and you don't have any son here. You can't make me pregnant. The guy was over 70 plus, and he started fainting and falling down, crying like a chicken. So learn early. I'm doing this as curatory to myself. In future, what if food is not there? What if I don't have a job? What if anything can happen in life? Just know. It's just by the grace of God that for you are still having your job or you're still working. And you can get a stroke. When you are vulnerable, that's when you will know. I've ever been vulnerable. When I got that accident, my God, things went bad. My legs stopped working. I couldn't walk. But when you are depending on people, my friend, you can see things. Your neighbors will make your house like what? Like a football pitch. They will just enter, get out, talk every nonsense. in front of you. But I pray that you plan your life well. So even the people you've mentored will go away. And they don't blame them. You don't blame them. Because also they have their dreams. They have their plans. So you think you're planning for them, but also they have their plans. People will leave you. No one showed up when I was badly. It's my parents who were taking care of me and my sister. So learn. I got that tip. I got to test it when I'm young. Now what's happening to the 70-year-old? Man, I move in homes. These old people are suffering. They are suffering. Men are hurting. Actually, you'll be surprised next year seeing most of those people you've been seeing separating. You will see. These things are happening. They are real. Why? Because people are not planning. You are still married just because of the grace of God. Most of those people who wrote about marriage in the Bible, they were not married. They are not. We don't see married people in the Bible writing about marriage. Perhaps it was hot. They know it very well. Marriage is not simple. Don't base your happiness. I always tell you, don't base your happiness on people. But plant food, because anything can happen. You will still have food. I can live without my wife. I can live without my children. I've learned that in the heart. It's there in my mind. It's not that I'm advising you to do the same. So don't. But I'm just telling you it's the reality. We don't want to come to bury you. Why? Because your wife has divorced you. You don't want to come. And then you falling down because you've discovered that not your children. I remain your friend, Dr. Yazama Damas. Be blessed.